In some shape or form, we are all part of a larger social contract, no matter how it manifests. How it manifests with your family, how it manifests with your friends, your neighbors, the government, and even strangers on the street. Individually, we all give up some of our personal freedoms and desires for the idea of a greater collective, our greater collective of humanity. This collective provides support and protection. And it's this idea that reminds me of my childhood. When I think of where I grew up, the saying, "It takes a village to raise a child," comes to mind. Victoria Street, Lagos, Nigeria, holds a substantial part of my formative years. Now, my community wasn't particularly rich or well-to-do. In fact, most people were just getting by. More than the hustle and bustle of trying to earn a living, there was sort of an unspoken agreement to care and look out for everyone in the community wholeheartedly, like they were your blood relative. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This did not mean we were all up in each other's businesses with no breathing space. It just meant there was an underlying sense of mutual support. You see, there was never a dull moment in Victoria Street. Mommy Ruka across the street selling snacks, children, including myself, playing on the road during the sunset, and somebody's mom randomly shouting from her balcony, "All of you should go home, now!" My family lived at number 58, and I tell you, it was one for the books. On most weeks, my parents would go to work early in the morning and return late in the evening. But my older sister and I, boy, oh boy, Ola and I had a time. We would go to school in the mornings, return in the afternoons, would go to Mommy Ruka's shop across the street and play with our friends Ruka and Rodia, and would also have lessons with our lesson teacher. But Ola and I were very notorious children. Most days, after we have our lessons, we would go to Mommy Ruka's shop and play with our friends. But on a particular day, a day I'd easily describe as the day my life flashed before my eyes. I was 6 years old. Anything could make my life flash before my eyes. But on this very day, Ola and I had the very bright idea to go play in the market before we had our lesson. So we came back from school, we changed out of our school uniforms, and we snuck out of the house. We snuck out of the house because we knew if anyone saw us at all, they were going to report to Mommy. And we all know what happens when we get reported to Mommy. And so we went to the market that was just at the corner of the street. And when I say market, I don't mean a supermarket. Picture with me in your head an open-air marketplace where different market men and women are at their stalls selling different commodities. Everything from cleaning supplies to rice, beans, and cassava flour, what most Nigerians call gari. And so we went. We just wanted to have a nice time. We didn't really have any plans to buy anything. Mind you, we were meant to be having lesson, and we knew our lesson teacher was going to get home at any moment, but we didn't really care. We were 6 and 8 years old. A little fun wouldn't hurt anybody, right? Wrong. So after gallivanting around the marketplace and saying hi to a few of our neighbors and market men and women, my older sister decided to chase me. And as she chased me, I ran backwards. And as I ran backwards, I hit a big table with a tray of gari, the cassava flour, and everything came crashing down. At that moment, I didn't know what to do, and the first thing I could think to myself was, oh no, they're going to report me to Mommy, and Mommy is never going to let me out of the house again. A few of our neighbors and market men and women gathered round to scold my older sister and I, asking us, why were the two of you running? Are you meant to be doing that? And as we shriveled into a corner, Mommy Destiny came. In Nigeria, Mommy Destiny is Destiny's mom. And thinking about it now, I don't even know her name because we refer to most mothers by their children's names. And so Mommy Destiny looked at the two of us and she asked, are the two of you not meant to be having lesson right now? What are you doing here? And it was at that moment we knew we had messed up. We did what regular 6 and 8 year olds would do when they're in a situation like this. We started begging. Mommy Destiny, please, please, don't report to our mommy, please. We promised we would never come to the market again. In fact, we would never play a day in our lives. Just please, don't tell our mommy. But it fell on deaf ears. Mommy Destiny scolded us, she spanked us, and she still reported to our mom later when she saw her. She told us to apologize to the market woman, which we did, and we ran back home. As we got to the front of Mommy Ruka's shop, Mommy Ruka and our lesson teacher were waiting for us. And as you may have guessed, we were scolded again. But for the most part, Ola and I knew that this wasn't for punishment's sake. There's a saying that a rising tide lifts all boats. Mommy Ruka, Mommy Destiny, and our lesson teacher had learned from experiencing the social contract in our community that if one person got better, the whole community got better. Fast forward to 2013, I wasn't feeling so well. I was diagnosed with malaria and I couldn't go to school the whole week. For the better part of the week, my parents took turns caring for me and nursing me to wholeness. Some of our neighbors, Auntie Yinka and Mommy Ruka, also stopped by the house with food and warm blankets to keep me warm and tried to cheer me on as I wasn't feeling well. Later that week, Mrs. Adeoti, my second grade teacher, also stopped by the house to teach me what I had missed in school and also just to make sure I was feeling well. When I think about this experience, I don't think about the malaria. I think about the kindness everyone showed me, not because they were obligated to, but because they cared, because that's what made us human. We eventually moved out of Victoria Street in 2014. I was 8 years old, but the memories of Victoria Street remain dear in my heart. I mean, I'm never actively thinking about our daily escapades or how I'd miss everybody in the community. But there was just something about this environment I couldn't shake off. And it didn't quite become clear to me until I moved to America for university in 2023. I was immersed into adulting, and as you may know from similar experience, I was excited about the freedom too. But soon enough, I had to figure out the system of connection and how to live on my own and join organizations. For the better part of the school year, I did the regular stuff. I attended classes, I joined clubs and organizations, I played with my friends, and on the weekends, I did my laundry. But on a particular Saturday in the spring 2024 semester, I fell ill. I couldn't go to school, and I take my education very seriously. I had learned my lesson from Victoria Street and Mommy Destiny scolding me. But I was so weak, and after what felt like eternity, I looked over at my laundry pile, mustered up the energy, took the laundry, and I went to my apartment's laundry room. I got to the laundry room, and as I put my clothes into the washing machine, I held up my phone to pay for my laundry. As I was doing that, it hit me. I had not received a single notification from anyone asking me why I missed classes the day before. No one reached out to me. No one cared. Did anyone even notice? At this point, I instantly remembered Victoria Street, the times when my neighbors came around to care for me when I had malaria. At this point, being alone and sick made me feel like this ultimate freedom I craved and had was nothing more than glorified isolation. I'm here in my apartment complex and thinking about it now, I didn't even know anyone else who lived in my apartment complex. Even the people I saw, we only exchanged quick glances and kept it moving. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't inherently bad. It just took me being at such a low point to realize the value of humanity in caring for the strangers who live next door. I slowly realized that the value system and social contract I was raised under was slowly slipping away. I never made it a point of contact to extend grace and common concern, like Mommy Destiny, who would go out of her way to make sure we were fine, or Mommy Ruka, who was extremely inquisitive and caring. I'm here by myself, and there's no Mommy Ruka. There's no Mommy Destiny. The social contract we shared was one bound by community. But in a world where individuality thrives, extending common concern, not just because we share community, but because we share humanity, would make all the difference. How can I do this? How should we all do this? Because at the end of the day, no matter where you live, no matter where you're from, we are all part of a larger social contract, one that supports us, one that protects us, one that binds us together through our collective humanity.